All right, welcome to The Explainer. Now, what you're looking at here, it's more than just a train pulling into a plant. This is a high-precision operation. Today, we're going to break down the TRANSAP protocol at the CMPC Santa Fe plant. We're talking about a series of maneuvers that are really a masterclass in professional skill. So, if you're ready to see how it's done, let's get right into it.
So here's our game plan for today, broken down into 5 key stages. First up, we'll cover the mission in Santa Fe. Then we'll dive into equipment and communication. After that, it's the entry protocol, followed by in-plant maneuvers, and we'll wrap it all up with the golden rules, the non-negotiables that keep everyone safe.
All right, let's kick things off with the mission itself. Because, to really master how to do something, you first got to understand why you're doing it. And in this case, our job, it's so much more than just moving cargo. It's about being the engine for a logistical chain that's vital to the entire country.
Let's talk about impact. And we can do it with just one number, 68. What does that even mean? Well, it means that every single train you operate, every maneuver you complete, it takes the equivalent of 68 trucks off the road. Just think about that for a second. That's less traffic, less CO2, and just a massively more efficient way to do things. Your work, literally, moves the country forward in a smarter, cleaner way. And that brings us to trust. See, this operation isn't just about moving product from A to B. It's about protecting a strategic partnership with CMPC that's been built up brick by brick since way back in 2005. Every safe maneuver, every on-time delivery, it's another brick in that wall of trust. That's why the railway is, and has to remain, the absolute backbone of their logistics.
Okay, so a mission this important doesn't happen by accident. You can't just improvise. Success is actually built long before the wheels even start turning, and it all starts with 2 key pillars: having the right personal gear and having fail-proof communication. These are the foundations of a safe operation, plain and simple.
Let's start with the absolute basics, the non-negotiables. We're talking about your personal protective equipment, or PPE. And look, it's not just about having it, it's about making sure every piece is in perfect condition. Your hard hat with the chin strap, glasses, gloves, boots, hearing protection, safety vest, the whole 9 yards. Checking that you're 100% kitted out is literally the very first step to a safe workday.
And the other critical tool in your arsenal, communication. Think of it like you have 2 vital channels. You've got the handheld radio, that's for the constant back and forth, the pulse of the operation between the engineer and the assistant. Then you've got your mobile phone. That's your backup, your direct line to supervision, for anything that's not going according to plan. You need both. They're both absolutely essential.
And here are your key contacts. You've got the COT, your 24/7 support, and the shift supervisors. These aren't just numbers in a phone, okay? This is your safety net. It's your direct link to coordinate, ask questions, or report anything unexpected. You got to keep these handy at all times.
Okay, so equipment's checked, comms are tested. Now comes the key moment, entering the plant. This is the part of the operation where the choreography has to be absolutely perfect. Every single step is designed for a reason, and sticking to the protocol, to the letter, is everything.
Let's walk through this sequence, step by step. I want you to picture you're the assistant. First, you tell the engineer to stop before the crossing. Then, you dismount, using the 3 points of contact rule, always. You walk to the gatehouse, hand over the IDs, and you coordinate to make sure that crossing is secured just for you. Only when you get that okay, that green light, do you walk back to the locomotive, inform the engineer, and then the mission continues. No shortcuts. This is the only way.
Now, once you're inside, there are 2 ways you might be moving, and each one has its own speed limit. If the locomotive is leading the way, you're capped at 20 kilometers per hour. But, and this is a big but, if you're pushing the cars with the assistant on the ground acting as your eyes, you have to slow right down to a walking pace, 5 kilometers per hour. And why so slow? Because in that situation, your visibility is limited, and having total, absolute control is the only way to operate safely.
So, we're inside the plant now. And from this point on, the environment dictates the rules. Maneuvering inside the finished products warehouse, the BPT, is not the same as working in the chemical area. Each zone demands an extra layer of focus and a deep understanding of its own specific protocols. Which brings us to a really important question: the chemical area. Given what it is, does it require any extra precautions? The answer, as you can probably guess, is a definite yes. And here's the answer to that question. When you're in the chemical area, your standard PPE just isn't enough. You have to add 2 mandatory items: a face shield and a gas mask. Without them, you simply do not enter. There are no exceptions. Protecting yourself from invisible hazards is priority number 1.
Okay, let's move over to the BPT, the Finished Products Warehouse. In here, the pace drops again. The maximum speed is just 10 kilometers per hour. And for good reason. This area is bustling with people with loading and unloading activities. This speed limit isn't a suggestion. Think of it as the safety belt for everyone working inside that building.
We've arrived at our final section, and honestly, it might be the most important one of all. These are the golden rules. And let's be clear, these aren't suggestions. They are unbreakable principles that have to be hardwired into every single operator's brain.
3. Remember this number. It means everything. 3 points of contact whenever you get on or off any piece of equipment. Always. Facing the ladder. This simple, single action prevents more accidents than you can imagine, and it needs to be pure muscle memory.
And here's the one condition that makes the 3-point rule work. The equipment must be at 0 speed. Let me be perfectly clear about this. Getting on or off a moving piece of equipment, even if it's just slowly creeping along, is considered a major violation. It's one of the biggest risks you can take. The speed has to be 0. Period.
And just a final run-through of some other vital reminders. If there's an emergency, your first call is to 555. Then you call your supervisor. On the radio, always confirm that you've heard and understood the message. And if you find any damaged equipment, report it immediately and do not use it. 3 simple actions that can and do save lives.
So we've gone over the mission, the gear, the protocols, and the golden rules. The only question left is for you. You're highly trained professionals. You're a critical piece of this country's logistics puzzle. With all this knowledge fresh in your mind, are you ready to execute the mission with the mastery it demands?